Hi, it is Dr. M.A. Malik, Assistant Professor of Economics. As part of series of video lectures on economics, in the last class we have seen topic related with the development economics, that is balanced growth. And today, let us see in continuation of balanced growth, unbalanced growth. Let me explain this with the help of PPT. Let me share you PPT. Unbalanced growth. After criticizing balanced growth, Evo Hirschman proposed the unbalanced growth strategy, especially for the developing countries. He criticizes balanced growth as he felt balanced growth requires huge capital to invest in all the sectors at a time, but developing countries face the scarcity of capital. Since they face the scarcity of capital, he says unbalanced growth strategy is not suitable for the developing countries. Instead, he proposes an unbalanced growth strategy for the developing countries. As balanced growth strategy refers to investment in all the sector at once, instead of investing in all the sector at once, Evo Hirschman says investment in one sector at the time of initial stage of development. At the initial stage of development, start with investment in one sector so that other sectors also will be affected and all the sectors got developed and economy is developed. So to achieve the growth, Evo Hirschman suggests investment not in all the sector at once, but start with the investment in one sector, develop the one sector so that other sectors development either be influenced or be pressurized. So unbalanced growth strategy means investment in one sector at the time of initial stage of development. He criticizes balanced growth strategy, as I have told, because the developing countries have the shortage of resources so that they can't invest in all the sector at once. Rather, they should select a one sector to develop. ముందుగా ఒకే రంగంలో పెట్టుబడి పెట్టి ఆ రంగం అభివృద్ధి ద్వారా ఇతర రంగాలను ప్రభావితం చేసి ఆర్థికాభివృద్ధి సాధించే ప్రక్రియనే అసంతులిత వృద్ధి. దీనిని హర్ష్మన్ చెప్తారు. ఏవో హర్ష్మన్ వివరించడం జరిగింది. ఇక ఏవో హర్ష్మన్ when he talks on unbalanced growth strategy, he says economy is to be divided into two sectors. One he names as SOC, another one he names DPA. SOC is social overhead capital. DPA is direct production activities. It refers to alternates. Two alternates. Either development via excess capacity or development via shortages. Either development through excess capacity. We have to create the excess in economy, or we have to create the shortage in development part. You can select any one of these two, but you can develop the economy. That he says. And this excess capacity refers to the SOC, social overhead capital. And shortage strategy refers to the DPA. What is SOC actually? Social overhead capital refers to the infrastructure which helps to direct production activity. It may be economic infrastructure, it may be social infrastructure. Economic infrastructure like transport, irrigation, electricity, financial institutions, like that. Communication, of course, like that. And social infrastructure refers to health, training, education, special skills training, etc. So, social overhead capital in the sense infrastructure facilities which helps to develop direct production activities. Direct production activities maybe industrial production, maybe agriculture production, maybe service, maybe production of the services. These are the two alternate paths, he says. You can select either one of these. Both sequences create inducements, pressures conducive to development, as illustrated. In figure 1, we are going to see. You can select either SOC path or you can select direct production activity path. Both the investments leads to the development. If you select the SOC, social overhead capital, so you made investment in transport, communication, irrigation, electricity. Then what happens? By influencing with this infrastructure, direct production activity is started. If transport facility is good, roads are laid, and communication facility is good, electricity is there, water resources are there, then industries automatically will come. So direct production activity takes place. Or he says, if you invest in industries at a place, that industry is required road, communication, irrigation, that means a water facility, electricity. So the pressure will be built up to create this infrastructure if industries are developed. If SOC is developed, industries get incentives, influenced, so that industries come. If you start industries, pressure will be built up for the infrastructure development. So Hirschman says you select one of these paths, not invest in all the sectors, just you invest in one sector, since developing countries lack the capital. We can explain this example with the help of a diagram. You see, this is 45 degrees line. It is called production path line, isocline in economics terminology, and SOC will become the equal to DPA. First start with the A point, and you think that we have invested in SOC. So this much level we have invested in SOC. What happens? You have created infrastructure facilities. You have created infrastructure facilities. Hence, what happens? By getting influenced by the infrastructure facilities, since infrastructure facilities are there, investment comes in industries. Industries are established. So investment in DPA also increases from A to B1, like this. Okay. So then when SOC you invested in, you increase the investment from this level to this level on SOC. What happens? And DPA also investment increased from A to B1. So what happens? Production increases from A to B. Investment increase in DPA and investment increase in SOC, and production increase to A to B. Again, if you increase investment in B to D in SOC like this, by getting these incentives, investment in industries increases from B to D1. Then production increases from B to C. Like this, production growth takes place A, B, C. And DPA is equal to SOC also. So you started investment in SOC, but investment came automatically in DPA and production increased. Otherwise, if you start investment in DPA, for example, if you increase the investment on DPA from this level to this level, A to B1, A to B1. What happens? Investment in industries pressurizes the investment in infrastructure. Once industries are established, they need road, they need water facility, they need communication, they need electricity. Ultimately, so we have what we have created here, scarcity we have. Previously, we have created excess. Now we have created scarcity. Automatically, investment comes in SOC and investment increases from A to B. And production increases from A to B. Here, the production. And if investment increased again from B to D1, and due to pressure, investment increases in SOC from B to D, like this. And production increases from B to C. what we can understand is either of these two sectors you can invest first. Other sector either get influenced or get pressurized so that development path goes on. Okay? హర్షమన్ ప్రకారము అసంతులిత వృద్ధి ప్రక్రియలో భాగంగా అవస్థాపన సౌకర్యాలపైన కానీ లేదా ప్రత్యక్ష ఉత్పత్తి కార్యకలాపాలపైన కానీ ముందుగా పెట్టుబడి చేయవచ్చు. అవస్థాపన సౌకర్యాలపైన ముందుగా పెట్టుబడి చేస్తే ప్రత్యక్ష ఉత్పత్తి కార్యకలాపాలు ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఆరంభమవుతాయి. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ రోడ్ ఉంటుంది, కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఉంటుంది, ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ ఉంటుంది, వాటర్ ఉంటాయి, అక్కడికి ఇండస్ట్రీస్ వస్తాయి. లేదు, ముందుగా ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేస్తే అక్కడికి నీరు అవసరం అవుతుంది, రోడ్ అవసరం అవుతుంది, కమ్యూనికేషన్ సమాచారం అవసరం అవుతుంది, విద్యుత్ అవసరం అవుతుంది. కనుక వాటి కోసం డిమాండ్ పెరిగి వాటిపైన ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ పెరిగి అట్లా ఉత్పత్తి పెరిగి వృద్ధి మరియు అభివృద్ధి జరుగుతుంది. ఇది మన హర్షమన్ చెప్పిన అన్బ్యాలెన్స్డ్ గ్రోత్ లో ఎకానమీ రెండుగా విభజిస్తారు. ఒకటి అవస్థాపన రంగం అని, రెండవది ఉత్పాదక రంగం. అవస్థాపన రంగంలో ముందుగా పెట్టుబడి చేస్తే ప్రత్యక్ష ఉత్పత్తి కార్యకలాపాలలో ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ వస్తుంది. ప్రత్యక్ష ఉత్పత్తి కారకాలలో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేస్తే అవస్థాపన రంగాలలో పెట్టుబడి దానికదే వస్తుంది. అదే అయితే మరి ఎక్కడ ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలన్నప్పుడు ఇండస్ట్రీస్ని తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇండస్ట్రీలో ప్రత్యక్ష ఉత్పత్తి కార్యకలాపాలలో ఒకవేళ మనం చేయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు ఇండస్ట్రీస్ని తీసుకుంటే ఏ ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలి అనే దానికి కూడా హర్షమన్ ఆన్సర్ చెప్పారు. He says investment shall be made the industry to which backward and forward linkages are moved. He creates this word, backward linkages, forward linkages. What are the backward linkages? For example, you have started steel manufacturing. For steel manufacturing, you have to get iron ore, so mines and iron ore, then iron ore becomes iron rod. Okay, all these mining and transporting, iron becoming as iron rod are all backward linkages. This iron rod will become steel, and steel is purchased by wholesale dealer. Wholesale dealer sells to retail dealer, and retail dealer sells it to consumer. These are all forward linkages. Okay, if the industry which has highest backward and forward linkages shall be chosen to invest first, he says. ముందు వెనుక సంబంధాలు ఎక్కువగా ఉన్న పరిశ్రమను ముందుగా పెట్టుబడి కోసం ఎంపిక చేసుకోవాలి. బ్యాక్వర్డ్ లింకేజెస్, ఇండస్ట్రీ విచ్ విత్ బ్యాక్వర్డ్ లింకేజెస్ యూజ్ ఇన్పుట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ అదర్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్. మనం చూసాం కదా, ఐరన్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, స్టీల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ చేసాం, దానికి సంబంధించి ఇట్ వాంట్స్ ఐరన్ ఓర్ లైక్ దట్. That is called backward linkage. All the inputs industries are called backward linkages. For example, automobile manufacturers, for example, uses the product of machinery, metal processing plants, which in turn use large amount of steel. Okay, these are all backward linkages. Another example. And building an automobile manufacturing plant, therefore, we will create demand for the machinery and steel. Automobile industry, you invested in automobile industry, then it will create the demand for the machinery and steel. These are all backward linkages. Inputs from which we are getting is called backward linkages and forward linkages. Output related, as I have told earlier, forward linkage is nothing but output related linkages. Output that is used as an input into other industries. In other words, forward linkages occur in industries producing goods that then become inputs into other industries. Okay. వేరే పరిశ్రమలకు మనం చేసే ఉత్పత్తి ఉత్పాదకంగా ఉపయోగపడ్డప్పుడు దాన్ని ఫార్వర్డ్ లింకేజెస్ అంటారు. Okay. Which industry is appropriate to investment? He says combined linkages should be more. That industry shall be chosen to invest first. And he says lost industries. He talks on lost industries. Lost industries first, he says. In the sense, there are some stages in industries. Some industries produce the goods at primary stage. Some industries produce goods at intermediate stage. Some industries produce goods at final stage. Sorry, some technical snag was occurred. So, industry that transforms semi-manufactured goods into goods needed by final demand are lost industries. For example, a chair. Chair is the final good. For the chair, you need iron rods. You need other inputs along with wood like that. So this chair is final. If you select this final goods industry to invest, all other inputs industries will be developed because you demand it. అంతిమ వస్తువును ఉత్పత్తి చేసే పరిశ్రమల్లో పెట్టుబడి పెడితే ఆ అంతిమ వస్తువుకు అవసరమైన అన్ని రకాల ఇన్పుట్స్ సంబంధించిన పరిశ్రమలన్నీ డెవలప్ అవుతాయి. అందువల్ల లాస్ట్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ని ఫస్ట్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ కోసం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటాడు హర్ష్. ఇది These industries create long chain of backward linkages. They often require the smaller amounts of capital. These final goods industries so అంతిమ దశలో ఉన్న వస్తువుల మీద అంతిమ దశలో ఉన్న వస్తువును ఉత్పత్తి చేసే పరిశ్రమను పెట్టుబడి కోసం ఎంపిక చేసుకోవాలంటాడు ఏవో హర్ష్మన్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఆర్ metal fabricating industries, pharmaceutical laboratories, and assembling industry and mixing plants. These industries have large backward linkages and forward linkages. These last industries should be selected first. Underdeveloped countries set up such a last industries first. Colombia, Brazil, Mexico are examples of countries that followed this path. Okay, unbalanced growth we have discussed today. Unbalanced growth is proposed by Evo Hirschman. He says economy is to be divided into two sectors, that is SOC and DPA. SOC is infrastructure sector, DPA is direct production activity sector. You can select for investment any of these both sectors. If you select the SOC, investment in DPA automatically comes, and if you select the DPA, and investment in SOC automatically comes. SOC gives incentive for the DPA, and DPA creates the demand for the SOC. So, since the developing countries lack the uh, resources, they choose only one sector to invest at the initial stage. This is the theory of unbalanced growth proposed by Evo Hirschman. Thank you. Thank you for patiently.